this is Darren Tripp here, and this is another weekly vlog. This week I played an awful lot of Overwatch, a ton of it. I have so many game clips for that. Play of the games, highlights. I'm combing through them, coming up with a good compilation of what I want to do with them. Since I have so many, it's taken some time, but be on the lookout. They're coming. This week, I've done some playing of like Plague Evolved. I like the critical thinking aspect of that game. And that brings me to a couple series that I'm thinking about doing. And that's like my top 5 games that will inspire critical thinking. My top 5 favorite shooters. Yeah, they're going to be my opinion and what I would pick, and they're going to be ranked in the way that I want them to be ranked. But at the same aspect, it's what I think it'd be good for me. It gives me something else to do, something else to use as a coping mechanism. It's a new series. I've been thinking about doing a series with The Division because the new DLC has dropped for that. I played that for a couple hours, and it's not too bad. It just, the main map doesn't want to work. They're like, look, you can fast travel to more places now, do this, do that, but when you pull up the map when you're out in the main world, I think within 2 hours, I got it to work twice where I could use it to fast travel. Hopefully they fix that soon and not be like, well, we can't get onto that yet because of this or that. You know, hopefully they fix that, because that's not just a game glitch. That's kind of an ease of access issue with the game. If you make it so I have to constantly run from one point to the next because I can't fast travel because the map won't come up, I'm not really gonna want to sit inside your game. I do like playing Thief for the Xbox One, and I've been thinking about doing a game series on that because I did like the story with that, and I do like playing some stealth games every now and then. But you know, that's going to come in the future. I'm not exactly sure, because I know my next big game series is going to be, I'm going to put up gameplay of Final Fantasy 15. For sure on that one, 100%. Went back in to play some Call of Duty. The Blackjack's pretty cool. I haven't unlocked him yet, but I have seen other people with them and playing with them and watched some videos on it. And it's pretty cool. But the only other aspect of going on is YouTube and some of the forced humor, I guess. I've seen a lot of like professional gamers doing it, and I've seen some other people on YouTube doing it where they put up a funny video, and I guess if you could tell like 1 or 2 people in the video were forcing themselves to try to be funny, and that kind of kills the vibe. I guess it's just a true acronym, right? You try too hard, you're gonna fail. And there's been a few videos that I've watched in the last week that they tried too hard to be funny within the video, so they ultimately failed. And I guess I just don't understand that. I guess if you go out purposely trying to make a funny video, it's not going to be funny unless you did it in a skit style sort of thing. But where most of the best humor comes from is things that just naturally happen without being forced to happen. And I kind of wish we'd see more of that aspect of it, you know what I mean? Because you always have those people. I have those people that I game with on a regular basis, right? That you can always tell the one guy that's gonna try to be funny, or he tries to capitalize on someone else being funny, and that person's just not really funny. Sometimes I'm that guy. You know, something funny will be happening in the group, and then you'll make a comment and instantly realize once you make the comment that it's not funny. You know, you might get a couple chuckles from some other people, but ultimately you know in yourself that it's not funny. But other than that, I've been staying home. It's been a fairly cool week. Just I'm having some problems with my anxiety, things like that, but I'm not here to like gripe or complain to you guys about that. It's just a fact of life. Um, I'm also been trying to combat the idea of how people can get jobs in like a specialty store. And what I would say would be a specialty store would be like a hardware store or a gaming store, right? Like GameStop. Okay? They get these jobs, they're in retail, and you can ultimately train them to a certain degree on how to sell things and what to do, right? But ultimately, these people need to have some sort of background knowledge on what it is, right? If I go to a hardware store, and in the area where I live in, there's quite a few hardware stores. We have multiples in our little town. But if I go to one and I go to the plumbing department, I don't care if it's a man or a woman that's there to help me. If I say I'm looking for a pipe, don't know exactly what it's called, and this is what it's for, and this is what it does, I expect that person in the plumbing department, if they've been put in the plumbing department to work, to have some knowledge of what I'm going to do, okay? Or what I'm looking for. So when I go into a gaming store, I expect the people behind the counter to have some sort of knowledge of what's going on in the gaming industry to begin with. But you don't get that. You don't get that sort of thing anymore. We get that in like our hardware stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, and things like that. We still get people that have knowledge of it, but a lot of times you don't. But we're, as like Home Depot or Lowe's is kind of training these people, right? Where they're like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, but if you hold on, I will go find either the answer myself, or I will find the person that's working that can give you the answer. And a lot of these gaming stores, like GameStop, you go and you ask a question about it, and they look at you like, huh? I didn't even know that was an aspect of the game. And I'm like, but you just told me you played the game. Oh yeah, they try too hard. I actually switched to buying mainly all my games digitally because of the main manager at our GameStop. It was a woman older than me. She, sweet gal, she tries really hard, right? And she ran a lot of music stores and things like this throughout her career. Then they picked her to be manager of a gaming store. She has knowledge for retail, how to interact with the customers, and how to do this certain thing. But I don't go to GameStop to hang out and be best buddies or to have them make me feel good, right? I go there for a general purpose. It's a specialty store. I'm there to get a game, buy a game. Maybe we can talk a little bit about gaming, but ultimately, I am there to interact with your store, to make a purchase. If I have any questions, I expect them to have some knowledge on it or to be able to pull the knowledge from somewhere. Our GameStop hires absolute idiots. They know nothing about games at all. I have been in there and listened to them talking with friends. And that's also one other thing too. Our GameStop, for some reason, most of the employees, one of the managers just left there. He was a good guy. He kind of kept everyone in check. He would BS with you, and I'm friends with the guy, but he would BS with you and do things like that. But he still did his job. I've been in our GameStop a couple times, and they had like 20, 30 people all around the counter. So he thought something cool was going on, and you go up there, and they are just BSing about stupid things. Not even game related. They're just like, oh yeah, Sammy from last night did this. Oh yeah, we were drinking out there and getting drunk. So I leave the little group. I go to pick out my game, right? And I was looking for a game that I used to own, like Rise, on Sun of Rome. And because I was thinking about getting it on disc, and just having some fun with it. Trying to support my local store. And seeing nothing but, I grab the case off the shelf. I go up there to wait in line. I even say something like, hey, I'm going to here to make a purchase. And nothing. 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 And that's kind of sad. And then you make an off the wall comment like you realize this game is old, but it's more expensive to buy it here used right now than it would be for me to buy it digitally. And they're like, oh no, it's not, you're just making that up, blah blah blah. It's like they have no concept. It's like you can go online, go on to the Xbox.com right now. I can show you on my phone. And you do it, and they're like, well, da, 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 da. I'm like, whatever. Right. I'm not trying to get the game to be cheaper, whatnot like that. Just ultimately, like when I was buying the Rise game, because I got off on a kind of a tangent with it. I announced I was there to buy a game, wanted to buy the game, but they would not leave their group of friends to come help you. That's, I've left that store a total of 4 times without making a purchase because they were too wrapped up in themselves to help you do anything. And there's nothing like going to a store because let's say you have to return an item, right? Because you ordered it online through GameStop. They shipped it to you. It says right on the receipt, take this with you to return it to an actual store. Okay. And you go to the actual store to return it, and there's 4 people working, and not one of them know how to do the return because you bought it online. Not one of them know what the code is. And what's sad is I've never worked at GameStop. I don't know what their codes are. But I see a little code on this piece of paper right here, and for some reason the abbreviation that it gives me tells me that it's a return code. I tell them to finally put it in there after like an hour and a half of dealing with these people and them not knowing anything about anything, right? And one of them's got to be the store manager. And they don't, and I guess that's what gets me the most part is that when one of them is the store manager and they don't have the knowledge in order to help you. What is our customer service coming to? In this day and age, I think it's a lot of it is the same thing that we're getting from gaming companies, from studios, right? Putting out half-finished games. Some games aren't even half-finished or even polished at all, right? You get the game and it's filled with glitches and all this crap, blah 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 blah, and it's a AAA title, or should be a AAA title, and games that fall into this would be Destiny, The Division, all these, you forked out $60 for a game and it's not finished. And I guess a lot of that came to because when gaming culture rolled over to where, well, look, we can now do DLC for our games. A lot of companies push it. Okay, this is what we're going to do for our main game. A part of a story because we're going to do 3 or 4 expansion packs for this game to come out with. And that was fine, like when the DLC business sort of started in gaming, because you pretty much got a full game to begin with, right? It was a full game, you got to play it, and they added a few extra things on there, which each one gave you like maybe 2-3 hours extra. It added to the story. The story didn't rely on that in order to make a full game, and that's where it falls into a shady category, right? You pay $60 for a game, but yet in order to complete the story, they rely on the expansion packs or the DLC to completely complete the game because they rushed in their process to get the game out to you. Because they're like, oh look, everyone's going to play this, da 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 da. People are going to like it, we're going to rush it, get it out there, and then it's broken, and there's nothing you can do with it, right? Yes, Bungie had some other issues that went along with their game coming out like that, and we're not going to beat a dead horse with that, okay? That's been said and done. But games like The Division, we saw things for 3 years on that game. For 3 years, we saw gameplay clips on this, and So when that game comes out and it's highly playable, okay, everyone likes it, and then suddenly it's glitch after glitch after glitch happening. It's kind of like, why do you even have quality assurance guys? Um, if they can't catch these things, and we've been seeing gameplay footage for, let's say, at least 2 years on the game, right? If the game has been playable for your quality assurance guys for at least 2 years, why aren't they discovering more of these things to be fixed on day one? I used to get upset when I'd buy a new game and you'd slide in the disc into the tray, get ready to play it, and it says, "Oop, there's a day one patch for this." You know, when that first was happening, I was like, really? Because you look up the patch notes, you know, instantly when that would happen, I'd go, patch notes, and be looking at it like, seriously? You're fixing the game already? The game just came out. But what that shows me, and what I failed to understand when that first started happening, was they have quality assurance guys. They played the game, and they found, from the time when they started to seal the game, put it on disc, get it ready to ship to people, from that time when they said, okay, here's what we're going to do, it's like their quality assurance guys didn't stop working. They still went out, they found things to fix on it, and they did that. I wish that would kind of happen more again, instead of us getting games that we're playing for a week or a month and they are completely broken, and the company feels like they give us their community speech of, we're trying to fix this, we're trying to figure out exactly what it is, blah blah. But this day and age, we're not imbeciles, we're not idiots, so we can tell when what you're saying to us is kind of like scripted. You know, we've heard it from every company now for so long, and it's kind of sad. And the constant milking of us with microtransactions and AAA games, I don't really like that. It doesn't hurt me so much as when it is nothing but cosmetic items. Okay, it's not like Overwatch. I'm not getting a gun or a weapon. So far, we're not getting any weapons or anything like that, or a new character because we've gotten so many loot boxes. Right? That's okay. You want to buy some things so you can get some cool skins right off the bat? That's fine with me. I understand that. But like in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, okay, we were told by Treyarch there's going to be no weapons and no stat changing weapons or anything like that are going to be in our supply drops. And then they do the COD points, and suddenly we get secondaries in there. And really, ultimately, at first, you're kind of like, secondaries aren't going to change the game. It doesn't matter if you have brass knuckles, because, you know, or a baseball bat, anything like that, because that's not going to change the game, because you still have to be within melee range to do it, and that's really not going to stop anything. Evidently, an installation has just stopped. I didn't know I was installing something, but I'll have to check that out here in a minute. But then all of a sudden it changes. There's a primary weapon in there. And yeah, if everyone finds the primary weapon, it's going to be the same weapon, okay? There's no stats changed on it. It's not like the one I suddenly found is way better than the one that you found. Other than the fact that the one I found, it's mine. Therefore, it's better than yours because this one is mine. But it does change the play of the game, because they said they weren't going to put any like stat changing of weapons or anything inside the supply drops because they didn't want to change the play of the game. But yet, when you put a primary weapon in there, that does change the game. Because unless I spend some serious money on it, the chances of me pulling that weapon, it's going to be ridiculous. And I see more and more in Call of Duty, more and more people are using those primaries. So yeah, it does change the game. It changes the aspect of the game. Whereas cosmetics, they don't. And that's where I guess Like when they did it in Destiny, I kind of stopped playing. When Destiny added microtransactions, but their stuff just changed the aesthetics of the game. They didn't change anything in the game. It's not like, yeah, I went and got some sterling treasure, and now I have the ultimate weapon, you know, and I bought these, you know, so that I could get it. I can get behind those sort of microtransactions. You're making a little bit of extra money, and also the microtransactions gave us free DLC. Um, the free DLC was kind of crap, ultimately, but it was free, so don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? Alright, now we're getting on about 20 minutes here of me rambling and really not making a whole lot of sense, I guess, to a lot of you. But thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Peace!